In today's class, we are going to see about Floyd-Warshall algorithm. And this algorithm is mainly used in any sort of network to find all pair shortest path. And the main objective of this algorithm is when you have a graph consisting of so many vertices, and if you want to find the shortest path between every pair of vertices, you can use this algorithm. So it is called as all pair shortest path algorithm. And this algorithm is going to follow dynamic programming approach to find the shortest path. So dynamic programming is also known as a DP. So in dynamic programming, when a problem is given to you, to find the solution to the problem, first we'll be finding optimal solution to subproblems. We will divide the problem into subproblems. We will find the optimal solution to the subproblems, and then we will combine the results of those subproblems to find the most optimum solution. So we are going to use the dynamic programming concept to find the solution to the all pair shortest path algorithm. And in this, a directed graph will be given to you. You can even have an undirected graph. So let us consider a directed graph with n vertices. And in this, to find the solution, we'll be creating totally n+1 distance matrices. So if you have 5 vertices, totally you'll be creating 6 matrices. At the end of the 6th matrix, you will be getting your output. And we are going to assume that D represents a distance matrix and D naught represents the initial distance matrix. So the dimension of this matrix is n cross n, where n is the number of vertices in your graph. And the initial matrix D naught is going to include the path that is having only the direct edge between two different nodes. So in the initial graph, if you have a direct edge between the nodes Vi and Vj, then that will be included in the matrix D naught. So this is called as initial distance matrix. And after that, we are going to construct the matrices D1, D2, etc. up to Dn, where n represents the number of vertices. So every time when you construct a matrix, for example, let me assume that I'm going to construct the matrix D1. This will be constructed from the previous matrix D0. And what is the meaning of D1 is, it is going to include all the path that can be reached through the vertex V1. Because totally there are n vertices, V1 up to Vn. So D0 is going to tell the direct edges only, whereas sometimes there may be a path through the vertex V1. So if you have a path through the vertex V1, that will be obtained with the help of the matrix D1. And D2 is going to be constructed from the previous matrix, that is D1. And it will include all the paths that can be reached through the vertex V2. And finally, we will have the matrix Dn. This will be constructed from the matrix Dn minus 1. It is going to include all the paths that can be reached through the vertex Vn. So what we are doing here is, for every vertex, we are going to consider one matrix. So D1 means the vertex V1 will be contributing to the construction of the matrix. D2 will be having the vertex V2's contribution. Similarly, Dn will be having the contribution of the vertex Vn in the shortest path. Whereas the matrix D0, that is the initial distance matrix, will be having only the direct edge between two different vertices. So for all the matrices, the dimension is n cross n, where n represents number of vertices in your graph. Now, let us consider how to obtain a matrix from the previous matrix. So for example, let me assume that I am considering a vertex K in a particular iteration. In the previous slide, I told that you will be considering totally n vertices, V1 up to Vn. Let me assume that in a particular iteration, I'm going to consider the vertex K. And when I consider the vertex K, I am going to construct the matrix Dk. So in that, I'll be checking whether there is a shortest path from node I to node J through this K. The meaning of Dk is, you're going to check whether there is a shortest path from any node to any other node, but it should be through the node you are considering currently, that is nothing but node K. Now, let me assume this particular figure now. So there are two nodes Pi and then Pj. This one is Pj. So here, let me assume that Dij represents the distance between Pi and Pj. So what is the meaning of this edges? It is a directed edge. It is going to tell that if you want to go from node Pi to Pj, the cost is Dij. Cost is nothing but it can be a distance, or otherwise it can be a measure of traffic, time to reach from one node to another node. It can be anything, but we are going to call that as distance. So Dij represents the distance of reaching Pj from Pi. Similarly, here, this is due to the direct edge. Now, what I'm going to consider, suppose if I reach Pj from Pi, but not directly, if it is through the node Pk, what will happen to the cast? Is it going to reduce or increase? That I'm going to consider. So always you will try to reach one city from other city directly. Suppose there may not be a direct path available. So you will go to some other intermediate city. Like from Chennai, I'll go to Bangalore. Then from Bangalore, I can go to Delhi. Okay, so or otherwise from Chennai, I can directly go to Delhi. There are two different options available. Now I will check which one is best. Whether the cost of going from Chennai to Delhi is best or the cost of going from Chennai to Delhi through Bangalore is best. So this is how we are going to proceed. So now we are currently considering the node K. So I'll be checking whether I can go from the node Pi to Pj through the node K. If I go, there are two costs involved now. That is two distance involved. The first distance is distance from Pi to Pk. Let me mark that as Dik. And the second distance is distance from Pk to Pj. The last one is J. So let me mark that distance as Dkj. Now I'll be adding these two costs. So when I add these two costs, I'll get the cost of going from Pi to Pj through Pk. So I will check if Dik plus Dkj is less than Dij. So what is the meaning is, the cost of going through an intermediate vertex K is less than the cost of going from I to J directly. So in that case, our aim is we always prefer the shortest path. That means don't go directly from Pi to Pj. You go from Pi to Pk, then from Pk to Pj. Because our aim is to save the cost. So in that case, we are going to update the distance. If this is not true, suppose if this cost is less, if the direct cost is less, then you leave the distance as such. So every time we are going to consider a vertex K, then we will check whether we are going to update the distance or not. To decide, we are going to consider whether the cost of reaching from node I to node J through the node K is less than the already existing cost. If so, update the cost, or otherwise just leave as such. This is how we are going to proceed. Now let us consider one example. So here first a directed graph is given to us. We need to initially construct the distance matrix. So since it is a distance matrix, I am going to denote as D, and I have a superscript here 0 that is going to tell that it is the initial distance matrix. So to construct the initial distance matrix, first you have to create a 2D array, and the dimension of this array is n cross n. N represents the number of vertices. So here I have 4 vertices in the graph, so I have to construct a 4 cross 4 2D matrix. So in this, rows represents the vertices. Similarly, columns also represent the vertices. So I'm numbering the rows and columns as 1 to 4 because here the vertices are numbered as 1 to 4. Then what I have to do to construct the distance matrix, first I need to fill all the diagonal with 0. So what is the meaning of filling all the diagonal with 0? So this 0 is going to tell that if you want to go from the vertex 1 to vertex 1, the cost is 0. Similarly, if you want to go from vertex 2 to vertex 2, cost is 0. Likewise, if you want to visit a vertex from itself, the cost is 0. Definitely it is 0 because you are in a particular city, you want to go to the same city. Anyway, you are not going to travel, you are in the destination itself already. So the cost is 0. Whenever you travel, then only you are going to add the cost. Now I am in a city, I want to go to the same city, so the cost is 0. So this is the first step. Fill all the diagonals with 0. It is going to give the cost of going from one vertex to the same vertex. So we are filling with 0. So after you fill the diagonal, you are going to fill the remaining cells in your matrix. So to fill the remaining cells, we are going to check whether there are edges between two vertices. So here, if there is no edge from vertex U to vertex V, then you have to fill D of UV in the initial matrix 0 with infinite. The meaning is, I want to go from city A to city B, but there is no path available. If there is no path, you cannot reach city from another city. So we are going to mark the distance as infinite because there is no path. So if there is no edge in the matrix, you mark as infinite. Suppose if there is an edge from a vertex u to vertex v, then you are going to fill in the distance matrix some value. That value you are going to obtain from this particular graph. Let us consider now the distance matrix. Let me start with 1. From 1 to reach 1, I have already filled 0 because it is the cost of reaching from a city to the same city. Then from 1 to 2, the cost is 9 because there is a direct edge. So fill in the row of 1, you fill under the column 2, 9. Then from 1 to 3, the cost is 3. So you can fill it here in 1 to 3. Then from 1 to 4, you don't have any direct edge. So the meaning is there is no direct path available from 1 to 4. In that case, you fill that with infinite. Similarly, let us consider the another vertex 2. Here from 2 to 1, I don't have any direct edge, so I am filling infinite. From 2 to 2, it is the same node, so I am filling 0. From 2 to 3, I don't have any edge directly, so I am filling again infinite. From 2 to 4, there is an edge with cost 3, so you can fill it. Likewise, you have to construct the initial distance matrix for the entire graph. So once you construct, we are going to call this matrix as D0. Now we are going to proceed our other matrices construction. So totally here I have n nodes. That means there is 4 nodes. That means totally I will construct 5 matrices. They are D0, D1, D2, D3 and then D4. Now the construction of D0 is over. Once you finish the construction of D4, your answer will be ready. Okay, so now let us go and see how to construct the matrix D1. Now, as I already mentioned, if you want to construct the matrix D1, it should be constructed only from the previous matrix. That is from D0, you are going to construct D1. So how to do that? So now let us write D0 as such. Now I am going to construct D1. So the meaning of D1 is it will include all the path that can be reached through the vertex V1. Okay, that is nothing but through the vertex 1. Since you are going to include with respect to the vertex 1, in the D1 matrix, you are going to write the row 1, that is this one, as such from D0, as well as column 1, you have to copy as such from D0. So for whichever vertex you are considering, in that row and in that column, you copy the values from the previous matrix. So here, since I'm going to consider for D1, it means that I'm going to consider the vertex 1. So under row 1 and under column 1, I'm going to just copy the values from D0. Then I'm going to check whether there is a shortest path from a particular vertex U to another vertex V, but through this vertex V1. Since I am considering D1, every time I have to check whether there is a shortest path from any node to any other node, but through the vertex V1. So now let us see how to proceed with this. So in this, first I am going to consider from the distance D22 because D1 is the first row is already filled. In the second row, D21 is already filled. What is the meaning of D22 is it is going to tell the distance from vertex 2 to vertex 2. That is D22. Now you can check here, this part I am going to consider. So you see what is the previous value of D22. Here in D0 matrix, the value of D22 is 0. So that you can write here. Now you are going to check. This is the cost of reaching 2 from 2. Now you are going to check whether the path of reaching 2 to 2 through 1 is shortest or not. Again, you are going to start from 2. You are going to reach 2 only. But now you are going to check through this through the vertex 1. Okay, so you have to now consider D21 plus D12 because it is from 2 I am going to 1, then from 1 I am going to 2 again. Okay, so now you check what are these cost in the previous matrix. So D21 is nothing but it is infinite. Okay, in the row 2 and in column 1 you have to check it is infinite. Then D12 is in the row 1 in the column 2 the value is 9, so it is 9. So if you add 9 to infinite, you will be getting the answer as 9, infinite. Now, the previous value of D2 is 0, okay? And now the new value you are getting through the vertex V1 as infinite. So now the new path is not the better path because our aim is we want to reduce the cost. Previous cost is 0, but here the new cost is infinite. So don't change anything. keep the old entry as such. Next, let us go and see for the cast from 2 to 3. Okay, so I want to find the distance from 2 to 3. Check the old matrix. What is the distance? From 2 to 3, the distance is infinite. Now, you have to check, if I go from 2 to 3 through the vertex 1, will it be reducing my cost or not? So, our aim is, we want to first go from 2 to 1, then from 1 to 3. Now, check the addition of these two distances. D21 is nothing but from the vertex 2, I want to go to vertex 1. So here cost is infinite. So write it. Then D13 is from vertex 1, I want to go to vertex 3. The cost is 3. So now when you add these two, you will be getting the cost as infinite. So there is no improvement. Okay, if you are getting lower cost, then you do the updation. If it is either equal to the already existing cost, or if it is greater, don't do any changes. So now I'm not going to do any changes. Let me consider the next one, D24. So the meaning of D24 is, if you want to go from 2 to 4, what is the cost? Okay, so the original cost of going from 2 to 4 is, from vertex 2, I want to go to vertex 4, the original cost is 3. So I am writing this. Now I am going to check, if I go from 2 to 4, but through the vertex 1, will it be reducing my cost? So you have to now consider D21 plus D14, because you are going from 2 to 1, then from 1 to 4. Okay, check the cost now. The distance from D2 to 1 is, from 2, I want to go to 1, distance is infinite. So write it. Then from 1 to 4, you have to consider the distance. From 1 to 4, the distance is infinite. So now you are getting the value as infinite. The previous cost is 3, but if you include 1, the cost is now infinite. So there is no improvement. When there is no improvement, don't do any changes, leave it as such. Likewise, you have to do for all the remaining cells. So remember, the first row and first column you have already copied from the previous matrix D0. So you have to compute for the remaining 9 cells only. So I am computing all the distance like this for all the remaining cells. Now I observe that there is no improvement in any of the distances. So what I'm going to do is, when there is no improvement in any of the distances, simply I'm going to copy all the values from the previous one. So when I do this matrix, just I have consider this particular path, the 9 cells. Whatever is the value in the previous 9 cells, I have copied them, because I didn't find any improvement when I include the vertex V1. So the conclusion here is, the addition of the vertex V1 does not result in any new shortest path through it. So you have done everything with respect to the vertex V1. Now you have to go and check the next vertex V2. So totally we have 4 vertices. We have finished with vertex V1. Now go and check whether the inclusion of V2 is going to reduce any distance. So I have to go and check with D2. I have to now construct the matrix D2. When I want to construct the matrix D2, I should start with the D1. Don't consider D0, because D0 is the initial matrix. Then you have considered vertex 1, you have constructed D1. Now you have to start with the D1, you have to construct D2. D2 is going to tell you whether you have any shortest path from a vertex U to vertex V through the vertex 2, because it is D2. So what we have to do now, you have to copy the second row and second column as such, because we are going to see with respect to the vertex 2. So copy the second row and second column from D1. Then you are going to compute the remaining 9 cells. So how to compute the remaining 9 cells? You use a formula I have already told you. Check whether the path through D2 is less. Okay, if it is having less distance, you update the previous cell. If the distance is not less, either if it is equal or greater, don't update the previous cell. So let us see one example for this. So now I am going to construct D2. So if you consider here, I'm not going to write anything with respect to the row 2. Similarly, column 2 will never appear here. We are going to compute for remaining 9 empty cells only. Here I have 9 empty cells. For these cells, you have to construct the distance. So first, let us consider D11. So D11, you have to check from the previous matrix, what is the cost. In D1, The cast of D11 is 0. So you can write it. Then I want to check whether I can go from 1 to 1 through the node 2 because we are considering 2 now, D2 now. So you write D11 is nothing but now you are going to go through the node 2. So I am writing D12 plus D21. Okay. Now, what is the cast of D12? It's nothing but in this matrix it is 9. So write it. Then the cast of D21 is in the second row, in the first column, it is infinite. So write it. So when you add 9 with infinite, your answer will be infinite. So your original cast is 0. Your new cast through the vertex 2 is infinite. So there is no reduction in the cast. So you can keep the old cast as such. So there is no change. Now, let us consider for the next one, D13. D13 is nothing but what is the distance from the node 1 to the node 3. So you go to the row 1, in column 3, you check what is the cast. It is 3. So write it. Now you are going to check if I go from node 1 to 3 through the node 2, will it improve my cast? So I want to go from 1 to 2 first, then 2 to 3. So add both the distances. So now what is the distance from 1 to 2? Here in the row 1, in the column 2, I have 9. So write it. Then D23 is in the row 2, in the column 3, it is infinite. When we add 9 and infinite, we are getting infinite. So your previous cast is 3 and your new cast is infinite. So there is no improvement. Improvement in the sense there is no reduction in the distance. So you don't change anything. Now let us see one with change. Let us see what will happen to that. Now let us consider D14. D14 is cast of going from the node 1 to node 4. So in the original matrix, from 1 to 4, there is no direct path. So we have the distance as infinite. So now we are going to consider whether I can reach from node 1 to node 4 through 2. Is there any shortest path available? Through the node 2. So let me add D12 and D24. D12 here is 9. Then D24 in the row 2, in the column 4, it is 3. So 9 plus 3 is 12. Now, previously, there is no direct edge from 1 to 4, so the cost is infinite. But now, if I want to go from city 1 or vertex 1 to vertex 4, through the vertex 2, I have a shortest path. Previously, there is no road. Now, there is a road through some other place. So, I am getting the cast as 12. Now, compare 12 with infinite. 12 is less than infinite. That means you have a shortest path. So now you need to update this in the matrix. So these two, there are no changes. Keep them as such from the previous matrix. Whereas D14, you have a shortest path. So you have to update the value. Don't keep this value from the previous D1. You have to update it. Now let us see what is the meaning of this updation. So first, from the node 1 to the node 4, there is no direct path available. That's why we have the cast as infinite in the matrix D1. Even after the inclusion of vertex 1, we don't have any path from 1 to 4. So we have a cast of 1. Now I'm going to consider whether there is a path from 1 to 4 due to the addition of the vertex 2. So if you consider this diagram, first I can go from 1 to 2 with the cast of 9. Then from 2, I can go to 4 with a cast of 3. So totally with the cast of 9 plus 3, that is 12, I can go from 1 to 4 through the node 2. That is the meaning of this updation. Since this is going to include a path, we are going to update in the previous matrix. Likewise, you need to find out for D31, D33, D34. All the empty cells you have to find out. Now let us consider one more thing where we have the updation. Let us consider D34. D34 is initially in the D1 matrix, it is empty, this cell. So now we are going to consider whether there is a shortest path from T3 to 4 through the node 2. So I am going to calculate D32 plus D24. D32 is in the third row in the second column, value is 5. So 5 here. Then D24 is in the second row in the fourth column, value is 3. So 5 plus 3 is now 8. Previously, there is no direct path from 3 to 4, but now there is a shortest path from 3 to 4 through the node 2. It is having the distance as 8. This 8 is less than infinite. Therefore, I have to update this in the new matrix. So likewise, you have to find for all the other cells. So totally you need to compute for 9 cells, because out of 16 cells, the second row and second column be kept as such from the previous matrix. So you need to calculate only for the remaining 9 cells. So now once I finish, I found that there are two shortest paths available. One is for D14, another is for D34. So now let us change these two. So D14, we found that the cost is 12. So in the first row, fourth column, previously it is infinite. Now we are going to change that to 12 because we found that that is the shortest path. Then for D34, the original cost is infinite. Now there is a shortest path with cost 8. So you have to update that also. So go to third row and fourth column. In third row, fourth column, I need to update 8 because I have a shortest path now. So all the remaining cells you have to copy from the previous matrix D1. So now we have constructed the distance matrix D2. Totally we have finished 3 matrices now, D0, D1 and D2. We need to construct still 2 more matrices, D3 and D4. So now let us go and see how to finish D3. So if you want to construct D3, in that we are going to check whether there is a shortest path from any vertex to any other vertex, but through the vertex 3. Then for this, we need to retain the elements in the third row and third column as such. So whatever is your D2 matrix, you have to retain the third row and third column as such for the construction of D3. The remaining 9 cells you have to compute. So let us go and compute the value for the remaining 9 cells. So now I am going to construct the distance matrix D3. So if you see here, in none of the values, you will have the row 3 and then column 3, because we have calculated the value as such from the previous distance matrix. Now let us see the updation of values now. We will consider for D12 because there is a change in this. So let us consider D12. In the previous matrix, D12 is the cost of reaching 2 from 1, it is 9. Now I am going to consider whether there is a shortest path from vertex 1 to vertex 2, but through the vertex 3. So I am going to find the distance of D13 and then D32. I'll add both. Now what is the distance of D13? The distance of D13 is 3 here. Then the distance of D32, from 3 to 2, the distance is 5. When you add these things, you are getting the distance as 8. So previously, also you have a path, but the distance is 9. But now you are computing a path. This is shorter when compared to the previous one. So what you have to now do is update the value. So now I am going to update. Let us see in the next slide. Let me tell for one more distance. Let us consider D14. D14 is going to tell you what is the cost of going from vertex 1 to vertex 4. So I'm going to see in the row 1 and column 4, the value is 12. Now let me check whether there is an improvement by the addition of the vertex 3. So I'm going to find the distance from 1 to 3, then 3 to 4. I have to add both. So from 1 to 3, the distance is, go to the row 1 and column 3. Here distance is 3. Then from 3 to 4, from row 3, column 4, the distance is 8. When you add 3 and 8, we are getting 11. The previous cost is 12. Now we are decreasing the cost. So when there is a reduction in the cost, you need to update it. So this also I'll be updating. Now let us see what is the meaning of this particular updation. So now I need to compute the cost from 1 to 4. That is from this node 1 to the node 4. If you consider previously, I have a path with cost 12. That is nothing but through the node 2. From 1 to 2, the cost is 9. Then from 2 to 4, the cost is 3. Totally, this path is having a cost of 12. Now, I'm including the node 3 and through the node 3, I'm getting a new path with a lower cost. So now let us check what is that. So from 1, first I'm going to the node 3. The path is having the cost as 3. Then from 3, I'm going to 2. The cost is 5. So 3 plus 5 is 8 so far. Then from 2, I'm going to 4. The cost is 3. 8 plus 3 is 11. So now I'm reaching from 1 to 4, but now through the node 3. This is now reducing my cost. So I'm updating this D14. Whereas D11 I will not update because when I compute D11, initial cost is 0, but when I include 3, I am getting cost as 7. When there is no decrease in the cost, don't update it. Likewise, you compute for all the remaining cells also. Totally 9 cells you have to calculate. So now out of the 9 cells, I found that there are changes in 4 cells. They are D12, D14, then D41 and D42. So all these 4 you have to update. The remaining 5 you have to retain the value from the previous matrix only. So now let us go and change these values. So now D12, I have to update D12 because there is a reduction. So the old value of D12 is 9. That is, here you can see from D12 the cost is 9. But now I have to change it to the new cost 8. So under D12 you can write 8 now. Similarly, D14, the old value is 12, but the new computed value is 11. So in D14, we can write now 11. Then for D41, the old value is infinite, the new distance is 6. So go and update it. In D41, in the fourth row, first column, I am updating 6. Then D42, the previous value is infinite, the new value is 7. Since it is less, I am going to update. So in the fourth row, in the second column, the value is 7 now. Now let us see what is the meaning of these two statements. So previously, before adding the node 3, if I want to go from node 1 from the node 4, there is no path. That is, the cost is infinite. Now let us see how I can reach the node 1 from the node 4 through the node 3. So here, I want to go from node 4 to the node 1. Now I am including the node 3. So first I am going from 4 to 3 with the cost of 2. Then from 3 I am reaching 1 with the cost of 4. So totally with the cost of 6, I am reaching from node 4 to the node 1 through the node 3. That is the meaning of this updation. Similarly for D42, initially there is no path from the node 4 to the node 2, but now I am going to consider through the node 3. So from 4, first I am reaching the node 3 with a cost of 2. Then from 3, I am reaching node 2 with a cost of 5. So totally with the cost of 7, I am reaching from node 4 to the node 2. Whereas previously there is no path available even after including the vertices V1 and V2. Now, due to the inclusion of the vertex 3 only, I'm having a shortest path. So I'm going to update that. So the remaining cells, there are 5 remaining cells. For all these 5 cells, you copy the value from the previous matrix. Why we are simply copying the value is the addition of the vertex 3 is not going to reduce the distance for those 5 cells. So you copy the value from the previous matrix. When I do that, I'll be finishing the construction of D3. Now we have considered 3 vertices. We have only one more vertex pending, that is the vertex 4. So we are going to construct the distance matrix D4. So D4 is going to tell you whether there is a shortest path from any vertex U to any other vertex V through the vertex 4. So for that, you have to keep the elements of the fourth row and fourth column as such from D3. Why I'm considering D3 here is now I'm going to construct D4. So I have to consider the previous matrix. So I am considering D3 in the fourth row and fourth column. I'm simply copying the values from D3. Now again, I have 9 remaining cells. For these 9 remaining cells, I need to compute whether there is a shortest path due to the addition of the vertex 4. So now let us go and find those values. So let me focus on path with change. Let us consider one path without change also. Let us consider D12. D12 is, in the previous matrix, D12 is 8. Now we are going to consider whether we can go through a shortest path from 1 to 2 through the vertex 4. So I'll add now D14 and D42. D14 is in the first row, in the fourth column, the value is 11. So D14 is 11. Now I want to compute D42. So go to the fourth row and column 2, the value is 7. So 11 plus 7 is 18. The old cost is 8, but the new cost is 18. That means if you go through the vertex 4, there is no improvement. So follow the previous path itself. So I'm not going to change anything. Let us see one more path with change. So now let us consider D21. D21 is initially infinite because there is no direct path from 2 to 1. Okay, now let us consider whether there is a shortest path due to the addition of this 4. So I'm going to consider D24 plus D41. D24 is in the second row, fourth column, the value is 3. And D41 in the fourth row, first column, value is 6. So 3 plus 6 is 9. The original cast is infinite, but the new cast is 9. So there is a reduction in the distance. So when there is a reduction in the distance, I'm going to update this value. So this D21 I have to update in the next matrix D4. Similarly, you calculate for all the remaining. So at the end of the calculation, I found that there are only 2 updations required. One is in D21, another is in D23. So I have to update these 2 now. For the remaining 7 cells, I'll be taking the value from the previous matrix D3. So now let us go and update it. So in D21, I need to change the value as 9. So in the second row, first column, you write the distance as 9. Similarly, in D23, the new value is 5. So in the second row, third column, you can change it as 5. So for all the remaining 7 cells, you need to compute or you need to take the value from the previous matrix D3 itself. So you copy them as such. So once I do that, this will be my final matrix D4. So now we have finished all the 5 matrices. So when you have n vertices in your graph, you need to construct n plus 1 matrices. So here we have 4 vertices. So we have constructed 5 matrices starting from D0 up to D4. And all these matrices are nothing but distance matrices. That's why we are writing D. And finally, we are going to construct the path matrix. Actually, no need for this path matrix. But when we started the representation of graphs in the beginning classes, I told that we have 2 ways of representing a graph. One is called a sequential representation, another is linked representation. In sequential representation, we have seen adjacency matrix, incidence matrix, and then path matrix. In the path matrix, I told that we will see how to construct this matrix in detail in the Floyd-Warshall algorithm. So this is how we are going to construct the path matrix. So how to construct the path matrix is, once you finish this D4, that is the last distance matrix, wherever you have any value other than infinite, for that you need to write 1 in the path matrix. If you have under any cell as infinite, that is going to tell you that there is no path from a particular row's vertex to a particular column vertex. When you have infinite, that only going to tell that there is no path. So if you have infinite, in that particular cell you write 0, meaning that there is no path. If you have any value other than infinite, you write 1. It is going to tell that there is a path. Now we have constructed the path matrix. Since we don't have any infinite in any of the cells, I am going to fill all the cells with 1. Okay, so this is how we can construct path matrix from for any given graph by using the Floyd-Warshall algorithm. But actually, if Floyd-Warshall algorithm is asked, no need to construct this path matrix. If you construct up to D4, that is fine. So now we have finished the construction of D4. So what is the graph is going to tell you? What is this matrix going to tell you? If you consider this matrix, let me tell you from vertex 2 to vertex 3. If you see the row 2, column 3, the cast is 5. So what is the meaning of this one is, if I want to go from the vertex 2 to the vertex 3, the total distance will be 5. But we don't know whether it is a straight path or path through one vertex or path through 2 vertex and so on. We know that the total cost of going from a particular vertex 2 to vertex 3 is 5. This is the shortest path. Okay, so you can consider sometimes there may be more than one path available, but whatever you are finding with respect to the matrix D4 is going to tell you the cost of the shortest path. So this is called as all pair shortest path because from every vertex we are finding the shortest path to every other vertex. If I first row is going to tell that from the row from the vertex 1 to the vertex 1, the shortest path is 0. Then from the vertex 1 to the vertex 2, shortest path is 8. This is nothing but the distance of the shortest path. Then from vertex 1 to the vertex 3, the distance of the shortest path is 3. Then from 1 to 2, the distance of the shortest path is 11. So we will know what is the shortest path from every vertex to every other vertex. But we will not know whether this is a path with direct edge, or this is a path with two edges, or this is a path with three edges, and so on. We will only compute the distance of the shortest path. So in this, you are going to start with an initial matrix known as a D naught. Then you will be constructing as many matrices as required. The total number of matrices will be equal to n plus 1, where n is nothing but number of vertices in your graph. So let us see the algorithm now. So first you have to construct the initial distance matrix a D naught. And for that, we are going to use totally 3 different steps. We will set the value of all the diagonal elements as 0. That is, if you have a vertex as u, the diagonal element will be in the index t of uu in the matrix D naught. In that, you are going to set the value for diagonal element as 0. The purpose of setting this as 0 is from a particular node, the distance to the same node is 0. So we are doing this. After that, you will check whether there is an edge from a node u to v or not. If there is no edge from the node u to the node v, then you are going to fill the distance of u to v in the matrix D naught as infinite. The meaning here is, since there is no direct edge at that particular point of time, you don't have a direct path from node u to node v. Maybe later when you proceed in the algorithm, you will arrive at a path, but currently there is no path available. So we are filling the path distance as infinite. Else, there is an edge from node u to node v. So in that case, in the matrix DUV, in the matrix D naught, in the index DUV, you have to fill with the weight of the particular edge from the graph. So currently I'm considering the edge from node u to node v. So I have to fill DUV in the 0th matrix as particular weight, whichever is available in the edge that you are going to fill. Then, so this is how we are going to construct the initial distance matrix D naught. Once the D naught construction is over, you are going to construct the remaining matrices. So the remaining matrices are D1 to Dn. Here n represents the number of vertices I have in my graph. So what these matrices are going to tell? Every time when you construct a particular matrix like Di, it is going to tell you if you include the ith vertex, is there any shortest path available from all pairs of vertices? So that only we are going to create. So during this creation, you are going to update the distance matrix if some other shortest path is existing. For every matrix, you are going to start with the previous matrix. For example, if I am considering D1, I have to start with D naught. Then I have to test the distance if any shortest path is existing. So in this, we are going to write 3 for loops. First, we will focus on the second and the third for loop. So in the second and third for loop, the purpose is I need to fill the matrix. Matrix is nothing but it is a 2D array. You are going to fill all the elements in the 2D array. So whenever you want to access the elements of a 2D array, you need to have 2 for loops. The first for loop, that is for I is equal to 1, I less than n, I plus plus, or otherwise you can say that for I is equal to 1 to n. This for loop is for accessing the rows in the matrix. And the next for loop for j is equal to 1 to n is for accessing the columns in every row. So for all the rows, we are going to access individual columns in different matrices. So totally how many matrices we are going to construct? We are going to construct totally n matrices. Already D naught is over. Now we are going to construct additional n matrices. So for that only, I am going to have the outer for loop. For k is equal to 1 to n. The purpose of this for loop is how many different matrices you are going to construct. That is given by this particular for loop. So first time, I'll be starting with the vertex 1. I'll be constructing one matrix, that is nothing but D1. Second time, I'll start with the vertex 2. I'll be constructing the matrix D2 and so on till I construct the matrix Dn. So that is the purpose of the outer for loop. Whenever you want to find the shortest path through the vertex k, this particular for loop will be used. So the second for loop is for accessing the source vertex in a particular matrix, and the third for loop is for accessing the destination vertex which is available in a column in the particular matrix. Now, what you're going to do inside these for loops? So in every matrix, I'm going to update the distance. So when I will update the distances, I'm going to consider currently the element which is present in the ith row and jth column. So I'm going to consider the distance of that element. So distance of ij. So already there are some distances existing. I'm going to compare this distance with the distance which can be obtained by the addition of the vertex k, because the outer for loop is for k. So that node only you are going to include now. So I'm going to check now whether there is a shortest path available from the vertex I to the vertex j through the vertex k. So I am going to now check whether distance ik plus distance kj is less than distance ij. If this condition is true, it means that currently you have a shortest path through the vertex k. So what you have to now do is update the distance dij with the addition of these two values. So I am going to now write distance ij is equal to distance ik plus distance kj. When you finish this for all the n matrices, you will have the final matrix that is nothing but Dn with you. That is going to tell you what is the shortest path from every vertex to any other vertex. So by using this algorithm, you can find the shortest path from any vertex to any other vertex. So it is known as all path shortest path algorithm. So